Glide as fast.
We're thundering towards the MotoAmerica AMA FIM North American Road Race Championship. This round is MotoAmerica Superbikes at New Jersey for our final round of 2025 for Mission King of the Baggers at New Jersey Motorsports Park here in Millville. As riders are ready for race action, so are we. Welcome to the broadcast booth. I'm Greg White, staying alongside two-time national champ Jason Pridmore. Now, Jason, when we look back at 2025, we already have a #1 plate, and it's Kyle Wyman, and he has been the man all season.
Yeah, he absolutely dominated from race 1 at Daytona all the way through our final races of the year. You see Kyle here and James Rispoli. This is at Road America when Harley Davidson the first day locked out the podium. This is Kyle at Laguna Seca. And Greg, the thing about Kyle was even his bad races, he got points this year, and that's how he earned that #1 plate.
So Kyle wins the championship, but now it's up to the Indian Motorcycle Wrecking Crew. They're in 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, so they have a battle amongst themselves to find out how this whole thing sorts themselves out on the podium. You can see Baz in his rookie season with 170 versus Herfoss's 158 points. Well, Jason, here we are at New Jersey Motorsports Park. It's short, but it's fun.
Oh, this is a bull ring, Greg. These are short laps, as you say, and you can see it's a long run down to turn #1. As you go up over turns 3 to 3B, 3C, that's about the only elevation you're going to see here at New Jersey Motorsports Park. A fast turn 4, passing zone into 5, and then all through 7, 8, 9 on the edge of the tire. But that last turn, turn 12, that's the fast one, Greg, that leads onto that front straight.
And it promotes great racing. This guy trying to wreck the Wrecking Crew's podium. Gillim's got a shot at it. Will he get it done? We'll find out.
So we get ready for the Mission King of the Bagger Race 1. Start coming up really soon for these guys. You see the focus there on Hayden Gillim there, pole position. Said crashing that Superbike race. Unfortunately missed out on maybe seeing what the track conditions are, but definitely going to feeling a little bit fresh. It was a pretty easy crash for him. But this guy, Loris Baz, 2nd in the championship. The guys behind him are starting to close down a little bit. He didn't have a very good qualifying. He's been a little bit off this weekend. Struggled a little bit yesterday in qualifying 1. He was 6th yesterday morning in the very first session. He was 5th. We know this is a track that Loris Baz is really strong at. If you go back to last year's Superbike race, he was able to come here and get his one MotoAmerica Superbike win. So definitely a track that he is able to go well at. As he gets ready, it's going to be important for him to get a good start. We've seen what Josh Herron was able to do the last race from row 4. See Jake Lewis there on the Salomon Harley right behind him. These riders going to be watching. Also, you heard Rocco talk about the weather. Seen a couple guys on the grid change their shield to a cleared shield as well. You can even just see on the screen how it's starting to get dark. So this is something that they will be watching out for as this race continues to go on. Troy Herfoss also struggled yesterday in the race. Looked much better today in qualifying, ending up 5th. Was really fast in that Mission Challenge as well. Corey West had his big crash this morning in that 2nd qualifier. Bike went for quite the tumble. It doesn't look like he's going to be able to start the race, so Jake Lewis will be the only Salomon Harley out in the field. Kyle Onzor there. Max Flinders also out there. Max Flinders making a bike change this year from the Indian to the Harley. So we'll see what Kyle can do, if he's going to be able to move up from the 2nd row as we get ready to go racing.
Mission King of the Baggers coverage is brought to you by Mission Foods, the world's leading brand for tortillas and wraps. Dunlop, the official tire of the MotoAmerica Championship Series. Drag Specialties, an industry-leading distributor of aftermarket parts and accessories for Harley-Davidson, Indian, and custom V-twin motorcycles. And by NXT Bets. Play MotoAmerica for cash. Multiple race classes live on top sports books and DFS platforms all season long.
Mission King of the Baggers coming to the line. Let's take a look at our starting grid. For race #1, it's Hayden Gillim, Cam Peterson, and Rocco Landers.
Then we got Kyle Wyman, Troy Herfoss, and Tyler O'Hara with a nice run from Tyler there. Rispoli, Bradley Smith on the factory Harleys. With Loris Baz, fresh off a 24-hour Bull Door last week. Jake Lewis, Corey West, Onsorg. Didn't see Corey lined up out there. So kind of wondering here. Max Flinders just on the back row. as well. It's going to be a crazy race, Greg. I think all gloves are off. This championship was decided at COTA, and now it's going to be a straight slugfest between these two manufacturers.
9 laps scheduled for Mission King of the Baggers race number 1. And here we go. Oh, and a good launch from your pole sitter, but it looks like Cameron Peterson from the middle part on the 45. He might lead us into turn number 1. No, it's got to be Hayden Gillim on the 69. Oh. He sweeps around the number 1, gets up the inside. There goes Cam P. Is he looking for some room? He does. So he passes up the inside on the number 1.
Oh, man.
Big crash.
How about Rocco Landers as well? That's going to be Bradley Smith on the 38. High sides up over the top of turn 2. He's going to run over to his bike. Shouldn't impact the race. Just glad to see Bradley up and okay. Hayden Gillim, like you say, Greg, out front early. Cam Peterson, who's awful hungry to get a win. This team, Greg, that Cam P has been on, they have really stepped it up the last 3 or 4 rounds.
They certainly have. On the SDI Racing Indian Challenger, the team has done awesome work. And I talked to Cameron Peterson. He races in the super sport class, and he said, I'm going to tell you, I said, is it physically exhausting to rustle around a 620-pound motorcycle? He said, easy around here.
It really, yeah, is that right?
What happened to Bradley?
That was a
weird.
really strange one. Didn't it look like it was that sideways? So really strange one for Bradley. Just let's see, we'll look back a little bit further, and he kind of
does contact.
No, I mean, he doesn't. Wow, that thing. I mean, it looked like he was getting close to maybe Baz or O'Hara there, but nothing really too crazy.
It's a tricky hill, though, Jay, right there, right?
Yeah.
Like if you get too far on the inside, it gets off camera, it gets weird. So he was just in a bad position. All right, so the number 69 of Hayden Gillim on the Revzilla Motul Vance and Hines Harley Davidson. That's a road glide. He leads the way. In second place is Cameron Peterson on the SDI Racing Indian Challenger. And, you know, that's been something of a talking point for, you know, this Mission King of the Baggers, is the fact that the starting grid, hey, there was no factory bike on the starting grid, but we have 3 up front are all on the privateer. The first factory machine we have is the number 1 of Troy Herfoss on the SNS Indian Motorcycle Challenger.
Love what I see here from Cam Peterson. He's trying to close this gap to Gillim, and along with doing that, how about the 97 of Rocco Landers? If you go back and look at that start, he was trying to roll around the outside of a bunch of people in turn 1. This young man right here has really got this thing figured out, Greg, and after that run through turn 1, he was able to turn it back up underneath Herfoss as well, I believe, as they went up over the top of turn 2. So he wants to try to go with the 2 at the front right now. Cam Peterson is going to be close enough.
So much lean angle.
Yeah, so much lean angle. And it looked like he's getting close enough to be able to do something down the front straightaway when they go through, after they come out of that last corner.
So Hayden Gillim leads to Cameron Peterson in second place. Let's get to the 3rd member of our broadcast team, Jamie Howe.
For Cameron Peterson, he has found so much pace here this weekend. He went out earlier today after qualifying, winning his very first Mission King of the Baggers Challenge race, taking home that $5,000 check courtesy of Mission Foods. And I asked him out on the grid, what has been the difference over these last 2 days? And he said, honestly, it's all about finishing the sessions between Circuit of the Americas, the last round, and then here this weekend. Those are the only 2 times all season that he's been able to finish each and every one of the sessions, and having that time on the bike has really allowed him to figure it out, feel more comfortable aboard it. And now the 2 of them are working together, and he said it's time to go and get our first race win.
Yeah, that Mission Challenge race, that 3-lap sprint race where he won that $5,000, you know, I was down there at Winter Circle afterwards, and the one thing is that fans were cheering him on, but there was a lot of people in this paddock that went to Cameron Peterson because it had been such a long time since he won a race, and we're congratulating him. It was a very popular win for the South African.
Well, Cam is so likable, and anybody that's come to a race, you get a chance to talk with the 45 there, as is everybody. Hayden Gillim, same way, just great guy. Rocco, all these guys, but when they put the helmets on, Greg, they're definitely going to be racing each other very, very hard. But for Cam Peterson, great to see him. Robert Ward's been working so hard on that bike. Jack Backen as well, down there trying to get this Indian up to speed all season long. And, you know, it goes a long way, Greg, as you get a chance to look at the Revzilla Motul Vance and Hines team owner, Terry Vance, there right in the center of your screen. But the thing is it's great to see a team keep chipping away and finally see a little bit of success.
Hey, by the way, don't forget, you can play MotoAmerica for cash. Superbike Baggers and Super Sport Series are now live on top sportbooks and DFS platforms. Scan the flow code or visit nxtbets.com/PlayMA to see what's available in your location. Sign up, claim exclusive bonuses, and make your picks now.
It's crazy, you know, Greg, because when you think about it, you look at these 3 out the front, and it's starting to spread out a little bit. 22.6. How about a 22.6 on a bagger around this track? That is so wild.
Fast.
To put it in perspective, the Superbikes are going 20s. All right, only a couple seconds difference between a full-blown bagger and a superbike. So impressive. But these three have broke away from everybody else. It's going to be Herfoss back there in fourth with Wyman and James Rispoli and Loris Baz. They have all kind of congregated together, and there's a big battle for fourth. As you see Rocco here, he must have had a problem because he's lost a little bit of space this time. Is it gonna shoot him up out of the seat a little bit? Yeah, just a little. It gets that thing all crossed up and sideways. So that's why Rocco's lost a little bit of time. He was close, Greg. He was only half a second behind Cam P the last lap by, and you can see now that gap has definitely gotten a little bit bigger.
All right, so for Hayden Gillim, having a good run at it, had a better second half of the season as he did first half of the season. That Revzilla Motul Vance Nines Harley Davidson team really figuring out how to get this motorcycle around the racetrack in an awful hurry. But Cameron Peterson not going anywhere. Now a 1:22.565, fastest lap of the race for the number 45.
This is so fast.
So fast. Looking at Kyle Wyman, the number 33 back there. Your new national champion on that Harley Davidson Dynojet factory racing machine. And he is in a battle back there.
You're going to see a bike, Greg, just in front of the two leaders here. That's going to be the factory rider of Bradley Smith. Picked that bike up and kept going. So you got to love that. As you see the right saddlebag look like it's coming loose on his bike. So Bradley's going to know these guys are coming up. He's going to let them both by. As you can see, he's just going to move out of the way for Gillim and for Cam Peterson. So
yeah, so good job by Bradley Smith. So Gillim out front, controlling the pace, Jamie.
I was able to talk to Hayden out on the grid, and he was pretty reflective on looking ahead to these 9 laps here. And he said, you know, it's difficult, this racetrack, because it is so tight, and on this big 650-pound Harley Davidson, he said it's extremely difficult to pass. So obviously his first goal was just to stay out front and not have to worry about it. But the Indian Challenger there with Cam Peterson on board now with just 5 laps remaining, he said when those bikes get close, you know, the sound, it kind of disrupts the flow a little bit just because the bikes are so loud and throaty around here. And he said they make their power in different places than we do, and that's what makes it such a challenge to pass. So he's certainly thinking about the end of this race and not wanting to get into one of those big battles.
Well, what's interesting about New Jersey Motorsports Park, Jason, back me up on this one, it's a wide racetrack when you're standing there looking at it,
yeah,
but there's plenty of opportunities to pass here. The problem is it can be one line, and so especially with the motorcycles these wide with bags on them, that's what limits your opportunities to pass.
Yeah, big commitment, right? So when you decide you're going to make a pass on somebody, it's going to be a big commitment. This would be one of those spots in between turn 4 and 5. If that door gets open too much, you could try to get down the inside. The other place obviously is going to be coming out of that last corner, being able to draft down that front straightaway and pull out going into turn 1. As we get a look at Rocco Landers here a little further back, he's at a 23.2 that last time by, Greg. So he's losing about 0.6 of a second on the guys in front of him. But for Rocco, you know, we saw him get shot up out of the seat, and he wants to get 2 of these Vance & Hines Harley Davidsons, you know, on the podium for Terry.
Cameron Peterson not giving anything away. Now in Sector 2 between the front runners, Hayden Gillim and Cameron Peterson. Both have set their personal best Sector 2 splits. And so for Cameron Peterson, who was trying to close the gap, Hayden Gillim is answering behind him. So onto the front straightaway we go again. Now a look at the lap times as Gillim extends his lead now to 0.3 of a second. And so 1:22.7 to 1:22.6, just 1/10 of a second each off of their fastest lap of the race so far. Now with less than 3 to go,
they're just so evenly matched. You know, when you look at this 22.6 to 22.7 and you look at the splits are nearly identical. And it's like, but there's places that Cam looks better, and then there's just places where Hayden looks better. So again, it's that accordion effect that we see so many times. And you see Cam get a big wheelie up on the wheelie hill there. Nothing like slamming 600 pounds back to the ground there, Greg. So you can see it's like right now, Hayden looks like he's just got that little bit of pace that he needs to keep Cameron at bay as he goes 22.489 in that first split, fastest first split of the race for anybody. He opens up a 10th in the first split, and he opens up a 10th in the second split, does the 69, but it doesn't look like much on TV, does it?
No, it doesn't. And if you're SDI Racing right now, the Indian Challenger of Cameron Peterson, how much are you thinking, I wish the season started right now?
Yeah,
this
no question.
Team has just really picked it up. And Jay, there were opportunities when things looked so bleak from our perspective outside looking in, that if they had packed up their tents and gone home and some reset for next season, I would have said, you know, like,
nobody
I don't blame
them.
you.
Yeah.
But the fact that this team is stuck around and their rider as well, and they are in a position to podium, but in a position to win this race. With 2 laps to go now, what is Cameron Peterson thinking about, and does he have enough pace to close the gap? And then at this point, you can see him closing up there, but Jason talked about, is that accordion effect? Where is Cameron Peterson going to try to attack Hayden Gillim? He just doesn't look vulnerable anywhere.
He's definitely closer.
Yeah.
And, you know, they've got some great guys working on that bike. They got great people down there working with Cam, and they got the right rider on the board. So let's see if he opens up the door here. Let's see. See, Hayden? That's racecraft right there. He knows that Cam's back there. He's not going to give him a chance to sneak down the inside of turn 5. So for Cam P, I think what he's got to really do, he's got to be close enough to Hayden when they come out of turn 10, and then he's got to be able to draft that Harley down the front straightaway and pull out into turn 1 and make that pass. I think he's going to have to try to lead the last lap himself on that 45 to win this race.
Hayden Gillim out of Owensboro, Kentucky on that Revzilla Motul Vance and Hines Harley Davidson. That's Road Glide. He's trying to hold off the advances of Cameron Peterson, who lives in Corona, California, the South African.
Look how much he pulled away mid-corner just there. See that pull away that Hayden has?
Yep.
So he pulled enough away to where it's going to make it very difficult for Cam Peterson to do something down into turn 1. As they go through this fast last corner, Hayden's got just big enough of a gap to where Cam's not going to be close enough to him to outbreak him down into turn 1. So he's just going to have to follow him. And you already got an idea of what Hayden's thinking when they get into turn 5. He's thinking, I'm closing the door again. There's no way you're going up underneath me there, because look how fast Cam is through the first 2 corners.
The STI Racing Indian Challenger turns so good in those first couple of corners, but it's when Hayden Gillim gets to the second half of the lap. So even with that in his back pocket, if Cam Peterson gets close enough to attack him, he's got to do it soon, because Gillim is so good through the final corners of the racetrack.
Yep.
And there he goes again, tight line again for the 69.
Absolutely. So these are guys that, you know, it's funny, Greg, because I can't remember the last time I really saw these two racing against each other. And so for both of them, they want to get this win for their teams. And for Cam Peterson, this is definitely an upsurge for him on this bike and this team. And it would be great to see them in the podium, in the winner's circle again. And it just depends on what place it's going to be. Is it going to be first or second? I just think that from this point, this is where the Vance and Hines Harley just corners this left a little better. And you see that gap?
Right there. Yep.
It just pulls away so much right in the middle of that turn. And it looks like it's Hayden Gillim's race to lose at this point.
A left and a right onto the front straightaway in the 69, and the fast turn 12 comes on there. And no, he gets a little sideways again, and he's got to be able to hold him off, though, and it will take victory in a heart stopper for a moment by 0.2 of a second for the Revzilla Vance and Hines Motul Harley Davidson. And second place goes to Cam Peterson, third to Rocco Landers. This is the battle for 7th place between Herfoss and Jake Lewis.
But Herfoss had some problems.
Yeah, he definitely had some issues. But Cameron Peterson tried everything he could, including the fastest lap of the race on lap number 4, a 122.565. But this is Gillim. He's done this before, by the way, here in New Jersey.
Loses the front, loses the rear. I said it was Hayden Gillim's race to lose. And look at him, he's like, what just happened?
What did I do again?
Yeah, he hasn't even got checkered yet, and he's already thinking, okay, let me process this.
Did he do that last year on a Stock 1000 bike?
Stock 1000, you remember he ran off and got the huge tank slapper. And he actually, I remember Uribe going by him, and then he won the race in that last corner last year on Stock 1000.
But credit to him, the 69. It was that last sector. He was so fast through that last sector that he was able to get just enough of a gap with that mistake, or that issue, I should say, for Gillim to hold off Cam P by 0.2 of a second. And the race pace, you can see for Hayden Gillim, his fastest lap of the race was that 122.689 on lap number 3. And right after that, it was Peterson setting the fastest lap of the race. So Hayden Gillim holds on for the big win with our penultimate race of the year. We'll talk to him when we get back to New Jersey.
Welcome back as we continue the live coverage here after race 1. Hayden Gillim, what an incredible save out of the last corner. That Revzilla Vance and Hines Harley team, they have been on a run since Laguna Seca. Now getting another victory for Hayden, also having his teammate there to stand on the podium with him. But Cam Peterson, fastest lap of the race, a new race record for him. Just wasn't enough to be able to beat Hayden Gillim today.
Indeed, and great to see Hayden doing so well, especially after having that tumble in the Superbike race earlier. In terms of what happened to him just before the checkered flag, if that race had had another lap or so, could that have cost him?
I think it could have cost him, because Cam would have had a really good run out of that last corner and maybe had that run to pass him down into turn one, and then also too mentally a little bit. He could have maybe slowed down a little bit. So luckily for him, it's pretty crazy when you watch these guys have those big moments like that, and then they just go back to full throttle right away and it don't slow down. And I see JD Beach there letting Hayden Gillim know he did a good job, and Hayden's been doing really good. It's been fun to see the Vance & Hines Harley crew back on top.
Indeed, and we've got to talk about Cam Peterson, because what a weekend he's having so far, and with all the troubles that he's had and the team as well that was mentioned during the course of the race, how great to see Cam come out and take that podium spot after winning the Baggers Challenge earlier on today as well.
It's great to see, not only for Cam but his team as well, the SDI Indian team. They have put so much effort into it this year. They've had a lot of bad luck. Some things haven't gone their way, but they have been fast, especially the last couple races. They've been getting closer to the front. Their practices and their qualifiers have been better as well.
Indeed, and Carl Wyman not on the podium this time, but it doesn't really matter for Carl, because he is, of course, our 2025 Mission King of the Baggers champion. But it is all about Hayden Gillim, who will be up on the podium in just a moment.
Mission King of the Baggers coverage is brought to you by Mission Foods, the world's leading brand for tortillas and wraps. Dunlop, the official tire of the MotoAmerica Championship Series. Drag Specialties, an industry-leading distributor of aftermarket parts and accessories for Harley-Davidson, Indian, and custom V-twin motorcycles. And by NXT Bets. Play MotoAmerica for cash. Multiple race classes live on top sports books and DFS platforms all season long.
Celebration time. Mission King of the Baggers race number 1. And yeah, for Hayden Gillim, talking to his crew about what happened, and you can see, he's just describing what happened. This is racer language. Remember the old Dunlop commercial when riders would do all that kind of stuff? It was so much fun. But the results have 0.2 of a second margin of victory over Cam Peterson. Rocco Landers 3.7 back after his big save. A couple big saves in this one. Then Kyle over Loris Baz. Rispoli, Herfoss, and Lewis with Tyler O'Hara and Kyle Ohnsorg in your top 10. Let's get down to Jamie in victory lane.
For Hayden Gillim, just taking a moment to get the kids over here to celebrate with them. 3 wins now in the last 5 races for Hayden. We watched that last turn there, Hayden, coming around. How close was this one to not?
Oh, it was it was a lot closer than I felt like it should have been. Like, Cameron's been riding great all weekend, and I mean, even at COTA they were finding some speed, and it's good to see those guys finally getting up here. You know, Bobby was always good on that bike, and seeing how much those guys have worked to get them on the podium again is really cool. He made me work really hard for that one. Yeah, it's just awesome. Stone's birthday was yesterday, so this is a little happy birthday win, and yeah, it's man, I just can't thank the Revzilla, Motul, Vance Hines guys enough. They work their butts off, and to be able to end the season with the little bit of speed that we've had the last few weekends has been really good.
You look at all of the fans that are around here. A lot of them have been coming out to watch you race for a number of years, even before Little Stone and the whole family really got started out here. When you think about yourself as a rider now, getting to celebrate race wins in this way versus how it was done in years past, how much more rewarding is it?
Oh, it's so much better. You know, the group was always big growing up with everybody from Owensboro, my papa and all his buddies always being at the races. But now I've got some little mini-me's running around, so it's even better.
Congratulations. 3rd race win again in the last 5 races for Hayden Gillim, coming on strong at the end of this season. But you can't talk about coming on strong at the end without talking to Cameron Peterson. You had the pace all weekend. You were there to fight. What more do you need to be able to close that gap just a little bit more tomorrow?
Yeah, just a little bit. Honestly, I got a really good start, and yeah, I was just playing a little bit too safe going to turn 1, and the guys came around me. And from there, Hayden just rode phenomenal. I didn't make a mistake, and you know, I felt like I was better in some places, but he was just good in all the right spots, and especially coming onto the front straight. So it made it hard for me to do anything with him, but just so stoked to show what this program's capable of. I mean, this SDI Indian motorcycle is absolutely rolling this weekend. So yeah, hopefully we can get back at it tomorrow and one step better on the podium. But thank you to all the guys for all their hard work. It's been a tough season, so to end it off like this is massive. So yeah, thank you, and thanks to all the fans for sticking it out. Glad we beat the rain, and let's go get some tomorrow.
So now that you do have just that final race tomorrow, in terms of aggression and how hard you push for it, when you don't have to conserve the bike for another one, how much harder do you go?
Yeah, I'm going to go for it tomorrow. I mean, I think to finish off with a win for these guys and for myself will mean the world. So, yeah, I want to win so bad. You know, I was saying, I think since 2020, this is the only season I haven't won. So, got to make it happen tomorrow. But, yeah, I'm going to go for it tomorrow.
Right there at the end. We'll see what you got tomorrow. Congratulations. Lander is able to finish in third. It is another double podium for the Revzilla Vance and Hines Harley-Davidson organization. And you set it out on the grid. You just got to get the good start, and then it's full send mode. How close were you to that?
Not so bad. Had a better start than I probably had all year, and put myself up there in the shuffle, and came out of it pretty good. But I mean, these dogs are absolutely ripping. It's crazy the pace they were able to lay down the entire race. I had that big moment coming out of turn 2 and saw the drops coming down and was like, you know, double podium would be better than throwing it down the road. So tomorrow we're after it. It's not fun to not be winning these races, but I'm happy for my teammate, and I'm happy for Cam. He's been riding so good. But my whole team, Revzilla, Motul, Vance Hines Motorsports, they've been working so hard. This bike has come so far since Daytona. And all my personal sponsors, HAC, Revit, Harley-Davidson, Mission, Dunlop, everybody.
Great race. Congratulations, Rocco. Greg?
Yeah, they are riding fast, and a new lap record for Cameron Peterson at a 122.565. Pretty incredible. Jay, let's take a look at race 1.
Yeah, let's have a look. And you see Rocco talked about getting that great start. Watch him try to roll around the outside of everybody right there. See him in second and third and got pushed back. Bradley Smith, strange crash. Glad to see he was up and okay. Even better to see him pick that thing up and keep going. So Bradley, big hats off. But it was the two at the front, Hayden Gillim and Cam Peterson, that were going to sort this race out. And you've heard them both say, you know, that Cam said he was better in some spots, and then Hayden was better in others. And it was kind of just a low for those guys. And Cam kept on trying to get closer. There was no way Hayden was going to let that door open in turn 5. Big moment for Hayden Gillim coming onto the front straightaway, but he's able to hold off Cam Peterson for another win for the 69.
Incredible second half of the season. Let's take a look at the championship standings to see where things have fallen. And you can see that the Wrecking Crew battle, and it looks like Tyler O'Hara slipped down from 4th to 5th as Hayden Gillim continues to march his way forward, with Kyle Wyman already wrapping up this championship. Baz and Herfoss getting pretty close as well in Mission King of the Baggers. Well, that is our penultimate race of the season. We have one more to go in 2025. It's a race you don't want to miss tomorrow. Hey, look, it's only week 4 of the NFL. Who cares? Stay here. Watch this. For Jamie, Jason, I'm Greg. See you tomorrow.